to Raven Sexton's Blackbird Diaries. Tonight, I want to continue with the theme I started with my last episode about healthy community. But tonight, I want to take it a little more personal. Good evening, and welcome back to Raven Sexton's Blackbird Diaries. Tonight, I want to talk a little bit more about healthy influences. In my last episode, I talked about the importance of a healthy community, having folks around us that are supportive, that have our best interests at heart, but still hold us accountable, that are honest with us, and help us see the things in ourselves that we don't always see or we try to ignore. I'm going to make it a little more personal tonight. What I'm going to talk about is self-talk. And I'm sure everybody's heard this phrase, and it's been described 100 different ways, so I will define it from my perspective. Self-talk isn't just what you say to yourself. It's to say things that you say about yourself, to others, in general, when you swear at yourself, when you think about things that you've done. And I'm sure a lot of us, especially the overthinkers, are the kind that will wake up in the middle of the night thinking of something that we did 15, 20 years ago and suddenly be embarrassed all over again because we shouldn't have done it. We are our own worst enemy. And that's where self-talk comes in. It's an inner dialogue, and sometimes it comes out loud. Sometimes it is our inability to take a compliment. Someone tells us how nice we look, and our initial reaction is, oh, I look like hell. I didn't sleep last night. Or, you're just saying that. And we need to stop these habits. We need to take the compliment. And I know some folks are going to say, well, what if it's not a genuine compliment? Who gives a shit? Somebody gives you a compliment, you own that. You take that. You smile. You say thank you. And you leave it at that. If they weren't sincere, well, you kind of just got back at them. If they are sincere, they're going to appreciate you taking the compliment. But even more importantly, your subconscious is going to learn to take the compliment. Is going to learn to see you the way they see you. Does that mean that you need all this validation? No. You are learning to love yourself. You are learning to celebrate yourself. And I've talked about that before. Your self-talk is realizing all your potential. It's really realizing all the good things about yourself. And it is honestly looking at all the things that need a little work. The dents, the dings, the bruises, mostly self-inflicted. And having that conversation with the person in the mirror about what you need to do to deal with it, to fix it, or simply to accept it and laugh about it. To smile and go, yeah, I'm human. In all its glorious wonder, I am human. I am going to make mistakes. I am going to misstep. I'm going to stumble, but I'm going to achieve. I'm going to win. I'm going to grow. I'm going to meet and exceed goals. And I'm going to have days where I'm on top of the world, and I'm going to have days where I'm going to feel like utter shit. Because I'm human. We feel as much bad as deeply as we feel the happiness, the joy, the celebration. Our self-talk tells our subconscious who we are. And when our self-talk, when we are dismissing the compliments, when we are putting ourselves down even when there's no audience, when we think we're being humble, oh, well, I'm just this, or I'm only that, or I can't. Part of us knows better, but our subconscious is going, maybe you're right. And we can beat ourselves up better than anybody else can do. We can hurt our own feelings harder than anybody else around us. Because of that, we're the ones that can also build ourselves up, make ourselves feel better. So how do we do it? We have compassion. Say you have a friend that is going through a really hard time, a breakup or losing a job. You're going to listen with compassion. You're going to remind them of everything that they are and everything that they can do. And maybe it's the other person's loss, or maybe it just wasn't a good fit. Maybe that job wasn't where they needed to be. And you're going to talk to them and you're going to help them find the bright side. You're going to help them find the silver lining. You're going to sit in silence with them while they vent. Do the same thing for yourself. Self-talk is on the surface who we think we are. And most of the time our negative self-talk is just a defense reaction. It's the easy answer. We haven't done the homework yet to realize all that we can do or all that we are. Something bruised us, our ego, our self-worth, and we went, it's easier to just believe it and back down and not take another risk. Set that aside and listen to that other voice inside that says, you know what, I can do better. I have done better, and I will do better. If that means I need to get over myself, do it. No one can get you over that hill but you. Your self-talk hides in so many different places. It is in, like I said, the inability to take a compliment. It is in trying to make somebody feel better. Oh, well, you can do this, but I can't. You don't need that comparison. Stop at, you can do that. And then remember, you can do it yourself. Don't make yourself small to make somebody else feel better. They're not going to notice that, but you will. Your subconscious is going to keep saying, you know what, you keep cutting me down. Maybe that's just who we are, but it's not. Self-talk finds itself in every kind of sentence. But, just, except, can't, don't, haven't. Put it in context. If you haven't done something, is it because you haven't tried? If you can't, is that true? Or maybe you just haven't found the way to do it, or your way to do it. I'm not saying to run around spewing motivational posters. I'm not saying to be unicorns and bubblegum. God forbid. Be honest with yourself. Look at the things that need work. Make a plan. Stick to it. And as you make progress, celebrate it. This is great. I did this. I wasn't sure I could. I've done it. Now what's my next step? And that should put some spring in your step. That should help you move on. And remember to do it. Remember to celebrate those successes. Your self-talk doesn't have to be Hey there. Welcome back to Raven Sexton's Blackbird Diaries. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about self-talk. My last episode I talked about the importance of a strong, healthy community. People who lift people up, who help people up, who have faith in each other and hold each other accountable. And that is critical to a healthy life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And keep each other honest. This time I want to talk about self-talk, keeping ourselves honest and positive. Even if sometimes that means being hard on ourselves. But for improvement, not hard on ourselves to hold ourselves back. And when I talk about self-talk, I've heard it described and defined 100 different ways. Self-talk is the inner dialogue, that little voice in our head that gets on us about mistakes we've made, makes us feel less than, repeats the things that other people have said when they're being asses. Self-talk is also the words we use when we're talking to others. It's the inability to accept a compliment. It is not believing that people are sincere. Who cares? Somebody gives you a compliment, you take it. You say thank you. You run with it. Something prompted them to say it, even if it wasn't the best intentions. Who cares? That's yours now. Make the most of it. Just smile. Just accept it. I'll bet you anything they were actually being sincere. Our self-talk is the internal dialogue, and it is everything that comes out of our mouth when it pertains to ourselves. Oh, you're so much better than me at that. Think about the intent behind that. Is this someone who is genuinely better than you at something? Are you saying it to acknowledge that this is their specialty and not yours, because yours is something else? Or are you holding yourself back? Are you saying this to sound humble? Because that's not humility. That starts to cross into beating yourself up, and there's no reason for that. Our self-talk is the language we use to communicate our deepest hopes, our fears, and our dreams to ourselves. With every can, can't, wouldn't, shouldn't, could, would, might have, what if, I am, I'm not. Listen to the phrasing. Listen to your words when they come out of your mouth. Are you talking about yourself genuinely? Or is it coming from a bruised place, a damaged place, a battered ego, or self-esteem? Is it temporary? Somebody hurt your feelings this morning and you're just down today? Or is this something that has become a habit over days or months, weeks, years, a lifetime? Think about the things that come out. And those honest friends of yours, ask them, is there anything I say on a regular basis that you kind of want to smack me for? And be ready for honest answers. And take them in the spirit with which they're intended to help you. Our self-talk plays a huge role in shaping our beliefs about ourselves and what we believe is possible. It's very easy to build limiting beliefs about ourselves. It's easier than taking a risk, especially if you run into the same wall over and over, whether it's a person or a job or a hobby or anything. After a few times, you start to wonder, am I ever going to get there? And it's just easier to go, yeah, probably not. I'll move on to something else, or I'm just going to play it safe. That's not always the best choice. But our self-talk can also help us to recognize, what? I needed to get over myself. I kept trying this, but I kept holding myself back. So I need to do whatever. Throw myself at it. I've done other things. I've done bigger things. And have that conversation with yourself. Kick yourself in the butt, but don't abuse yourself. That's healthy self-talk. Don't get strung out with positive affirmations. All of these, I must say something to myself every morning. I must repeat this mantra. Hey, if it works for you, great. Most people, it's not. After a while, it becomes so rote, they're desensitized to it. This isn't about motivational posters. And it isn't about the demotivational posters that desensitize you to what you can do and who you really are. So I'm going to take a moment, run through a couple techniques for empowered self-talk. These are on my blog. I did a blog post about this, I think, in July. It's been a busy couple months, so I've kind of lost track. But some of the things you need to think about Sit down and think about what you say and do on a regular basis and how it reflects on you. Not just how others hear you, but how you hear you. That's awareness. Observe your thoughts. Identify patterns of negative or self-limiting self-talk. Write them down. Put them somewhere. And each time you start to go down that road, catch yourself. Stop. And tell yourself, no, I'm not going to do this. And learn to reframe it. Affirmations. Second step. Take those positive affirmations. Take your phrasing, whatever you say, whatever thought pattern you get in. Flip the script. Look realistically at it. And if you're using generalizations like, oh, I always this and I always that, there's nothing wrong with looking in the mirror and going, you're a damn liar. It's not always. It's probably seldom. But that one time stuck in your mind so hard, that's what you think of every time. Guaranteed. You don't always do whatever it is. So turn the words around. Yeah, I did it that one time, but I've learned from it. Now, I do this. Now, I see this about myself. I got rid of that pattern. I quit doing that. And next, I'm going to work through whatever the next step is. Look at your phrasing. You are never just this or just that. You are. Complete sentence. I am. And then take some time to think about everything that you are and start a list. Just let your brain flow and you will see how many amazing things that you are. From there, go back through your list. All the things you've accomplished, all the things you've overcome, all the things that you threw yourself face first into, had a blast, made it win. Celebrate those. Instead of waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to remember some stupid comment you made 10 years ago, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, think about, I crushed it. I remember that time. I remember when so-and-so was impressed with me and I was impressed with me. Reframe those thoughts. Learn to smile. And I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at me. Take a look at your pictures. If you have photos of yourself at your happiest and photos of yourself recently, take a look at your smile. Take a long, hard look at your smile. Is something different? Is it your eyes? Is it the corners of your mouth? Does it seem forced or does it seem genuine? Now, if it doesn't seem so genuine, think about why, because it's probably mostly that self-talk, and start to work through that. What do I need to be happy? When did it turn? Then go back through all of that, through all of those accomplishments, all those things that you did. Rewrite that script and find your smile. Take a chance. Do something spontaneous. Get rid of the limits. Get out of your head and find your smile. Then take more pictures and more pictures. And if anything else, you're going to amuse the hell out of yourself just taking selfies. If you're anything like me who can't do it, do it. Those are the best. You're going to find your smile starts inside. In you. In what you've done, who you are, everything that's already there, just waiting for you to see it. And take those selfies and smile. And you'll notice the difference. That's the reinforcement. That's reminding you, I'm not just enough. I'm the whole damn package. I just need to recognize it. I need to acknowledge it. I need to celebrate it. And then get back around your positive crowd, your healthy community, your friends and loved ones that have your best interest at heart. And don't be surprised if they tell you you seem different, you look great, and when they do, you smile and you say thank you. Now I'm going to wrap it up at this because I've already rambled on enough. Again, I published it on the blog. There's steps, there's a little more information about the power of self-talk. If you have any questions or any thoughts to add, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, you are your own best advocate as well as your own best critic. Take care of yourself.